What's going on, everybody? This is Brandon with Aquarium, and I just want to go over what to expect when cycling your planted aquarium within the first 2 weeks or so. Just kind of show you the process, because of all the videos that I researched, I wasn't really prepared to see what was happening with my plants and wood and all of that, at least with the videos that I watched. Maybe I was just watching the wrong ones. So we're going to get a close-up here in a second, but just some background information. This tank has been going for about 2 weeks now. As you can probably see, I have some ram's horn snails that I am currently acclimating to the water temperature right now. They're a pretty hardy species, and from my research, they should be okay to put in a tank that is not fully cycled yet, and I'm doing a snail in cycle. I was going to do ammonia for the nitrate cycle, but I want to prepare my bacteria for a natural bioload that slowly ramps up, because I know when you put in the fake ammonia and you do 2 ppm per gallon there, it's going to cause a huge ammonia spike for the bacteria, and they're going to be used to this high bioload. And since I'm just putting shrimps and small things in here, shrimps don't really have a big bioload, and I don't want that cycle to crash once the shrimp go in, cause instability, and have all my shrimp die. So that's why I'm going to put in these snails. But let's get to what's going on with my tank within the first 2 weeks here, and show you guys what to expect when you start your own planted aquarium. So I'm not sure how well you guys can see this on your screens, but essentially what we're looking at here is within the past week or so, I've been starting to get all this algae growth on the glass here. That's kind of why I got these ram's horn snails. I don't want this to be overloaded with algae. I want it to be cleaned up a little bit. Just so that it just doesn't become one giant mess. Also with the bioload, and I do want to breed these guys a little bit. So we got algae growing there. I did have this big clump of white biofilm on my spider wood here. It started to die off now. As you can see, it's turning black over here in this corner. There's still some white patches, but we are getting algae growth and that black dead biofilm on there as well that I want cleaned up. My Anubia here, we are getting some algae on the leaves as well, just looking a little bit dirty. And my Rotala, the leaves have started to melt. I did get those from Petco. That's the closest store to me locally. I'm not going to be able to get a good shot of those with my current lens on the camera. But basically they just started turning brown, melting, looking all gross. But we are starting to see a lot of new growth, and we'll see if we can kind of get some of that in here. So these small spindly leaves are the new growth for the Rotala, and they're looking pretty good. Up here in this corner, oops, there's my hand, right over here. Those are looking very nice and green under the light, and they're looking really good. But these leaves, these big leaves in general, have a lot of algae growth on them, and I just want that cleaned up, because I don't want my plants to get covered in algae and have them die from that either. So currently my water parameters are, when I started my ammonia at 2 ppm, within the next day it went down to 0.25. I would imagine it's 0 right now. I'll do a water test before adding these snails, and I'm also going to do like a 30% water change, just to kind of get rid of all the random contaminants that may be in this water from the cycle. My nitrites were about around 2 ppm. Those fell slightly, and my nitrates were getting to 1 to 5 ppm. That was a couple days ago, so I imagine that we're having a slow start cycle happening already, and when these ram's horn snails start pooping, that's just going to create that natural cycle for the fish tank when I do add my shrimp, and just create more stable parameters. Now, my first video, I did build this tank. I made some modifications. I've trimmed my Rotala. I planted them. This one specifically right here is planted. It's growing. All the roots are starting to fall from the plants and go towards the aqua soil. I'm using fluval strata. And then I have two cirro stones behind the stick here. That was mostly just to keep the spider wood planted down so it didn't float up on me, but also to increase some water parameters with the carbonates and things like that for the shrimp, since they need those minerals in the water to molt properly. And I just feel like those stones will be a good stone to leach their chemicals into the water for shrimp, but it may not be good for a lot of fish. So definitely don't choose this stone depending on what species you're doing. Always do your research and do water tests. In fact, I will show you the water test that I'm using. And it's the API Freshwater Master Kit. You can get it for about 30 bucks on Amazon. And it has all these different ranges right here, a bunch of different vials. You just do it every day. It does take about 7 minutes or so if you do it efficiently. So it's not too bad, not as quick as a test strip, but the test strips I was using, they just didn't seem very accurate. I didn't trust it. So I decided to invest in this guy because I want my little fish and snails, shrimp, whatever, to be healthy and happy in their environment. So it's not the biggest update ever. We will continue to do updates every few weeks or so to show you how the tank's growing, but it is growing in very well currently. We are starting to see some more of these carpeting plants come through the soil. Those haven't decayed at all, and they're looking nice and healthy. But yeah, guys, you know, whenever you're cycling a tank, I know you just want to put in all your fish, shrimp, whatever you're putting in there quickly, but I promise you, you're going to benefit from doing a slow cycle. You can add snails in because they are pretty hardy, specifically ram's horns and bladder snails. Any other snails are going to be a little bit more finicky with how they want the water quality and things like that, but I'm just trying to make this as a natural environment as I can in my 5.5 gallon tank. Oh, and I'll show you one more time to kickstart my cycle. I did use the API Quick Start. Here, it has all those good nitrifying bacteria in the bottle. You can't overdose on this. You can add as much as you want to try and quick start it. I don't know if adding a whole bottle is going to make it quicker necessarily, because you do need an ammonia source, and the snails are going to provide a natural ammonia source without doing the chemical bottle. Now, the advantage of the chemical bottle is that you know exactly how much ammonia you're putting in the tank. It is going to cycle a little bit quicker, but like I said, if you put a low bioload fish in here, or shrimp, it could crash the cycle because your bacteria are used to a higher amount of ammonia, higher amount of nitrites, and if that goes to essentially zero after you add your livestock, then your cycle is going to crash and you could have a dead fish, a dead shrimp, whatever that may be. So that's why I do recommend starting with a snail in cycle. Sorry, it's just going to create a more natural, slow going cycle. Also clean up your tank a bit. And snails are very wonderful for your ecosystem. They're here for a reason. You don't need to be afraid of putting these guys in your tank. I know ram's horns specifically can be a pest snail to some people, but if I get a bunch of snails in here, I can transfer them to new tanks when I make those. Basically have an unlimited supply of snails. I can give these away to friends. I can sell them, whatever the case may be. These guys are your friends. Don't be afraid of ram's horns or other snails that populate very quickly. So anyways, guys, that was a short little video on my update for this tank. We're going to be continue doing updates, like I said earlier, just to show you how it goes and what to expect for a newly planted aquarium. And when I do add my shrimp, we're going to be doing a video on adding the shrimp as well, to kind of show you how to do that and make sure that they're happy, healthy little guys. Thank you, guys. Come back next time. Stay updated with the channel. We're going to be doing a lot of different videos, isopods, reptiles eventually. Thank you very much. You have a good day.